Guidance to you. Listen to FLA Law each Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Let their decades of experience help you and your family. Offices in Clearwater, non-attorney spokesman.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for caregivers.
Caregivers around the world today, it's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. On the show where you can find help and hope. And with us today, we have Mr. Ed on the boards. How you doing, Ed?
I got to press that button. Obviously not very well. It's a nice day out tonight. We got that Artemis 2 landing tonight. I can't wait to see that. You know what? I'd like to have a job today.
What?
Working for Nutella. I don't know if you saw the video.
No.
But when they were talking to the astronauts, this jar of Nutella just floated by the camera.
Oh my God.
Just, flipping around. Because I would come up with the greatest, Nutella out of this world.
Yeah.
Don't leave home without Nutella. Stuff like that. And just having it floating,
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of advertising. During the Olympics, they had the one.
That microphone works. There we go.
I don't want it that close. Yeah, do you remember during the Olympics, they had the big Nutella like that?
Yeah.
Did they?
Well, this was free stuff. I mean, they didn't expect this to happen.
Oh, I thought they did.
No. They would just interview him and it just did one of those, what do they call it, a photo bomb?
Yeah.
It's kind of photo bomb the whole thing.
Cool.
Oh my goodness. That is cool.
That was a valuable advertisement.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And with me is my best friend, my co-host, and my sidekick, not psychic, Lynn Thornley.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
I'm doing really well. I love how the weather is today. I had a great supporter. Did I spit on myself or something?
I think you got pen or something.
Had a great support group this morning at Arden Courts. I encourage any of you to get into a support group, whether it's a live support group, whether it's an online support group. If you need to know about support groups in the area, and online can be anywhere, just email me through lindaburhans.com and I'll hook you up. There was a time I did like 13 groups a month. But I'm not the only girl on the block anymore. Thank you, God. So we have plenty of different opportunities. But, a gentleman came into the support group this morning, and after like 10 minutes, you just saw his shoulders fall down and he was breathing because he knew he wasn't alone. And everybody in the support group is always so encouraging. Many times somebody comes into a support group, or especially on the online ones, sometimes they don't even show their picture. They just want to listen. Well, just listen. When you're ready, you'll come. And there's so many things you can learn from a support group. Like this morning, somebody's like, I hate my neurologist. And two people are like, we have the best neurologist in town. That's the kind of information, because you just can't Google everything. I mean, the other day, my friend Jokes to Josie Jones Googled something about her health, and the response came back. I only had a mild headache. I found out I was dead for 3 days. So we don't want to be Googling that stuff. We want to go and we want to talk to people. We want to talk to people in our community. Like I say, you can email me through my website, lindaburhans.com, at any time with whatever question you have. And if I don't know the answer, I'll know somebody that does. I'll find somebody that does. I will never leave you flat. So please do that. So good afternoon, Diane.
Well, hello.
How are you today?
I'm great.
So we met recently through who?
Podcast.
Okay. There's like so many different people. I'm like, where are we and who I'm Zooming with and whatever.
Right.
And you have a book, A Widow's Fire, which we're going to talk about.
During my period of caregiving and grief, I wrote, and that was part of my outlet and my healing, was to write down what I was going through. And I've always been a journaler, so it was very easy for me to do this. And someone said, you need to write a book, and I thought, hey, I've got it.
That's fabulous.
My book, Good Night and God Bless, is a journal with me and my mom, so I get that.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
What led you up to here?
Well, my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And being the optimist that I am, I was sure that I could
We
cure
could beat
him.
it.
Of course you could.
I thought, I can remember looking at the doctor and saying, but we caught it early, right? And he looked at me
Stage 4.
like, gee, lady. And I said, well, we just found it. So I'm sure there's something out there. Well, he was kind. He was kind. He said, we have about 4 months.
Oh.
But with medication, we can buy a few extra months. So we bought 20 months.
Oh, 20.
Wow.
20 months. But I will tell you, it was a privilege for me to be there, to be the caregiver for a man that I adored. He was tough. He wasn't easy. He wasn't easy.
rollover.
Oh, no, he wasn't. Oh, he was tough. He was tough, and he was tough on me, but we got each other. We were.
Well, and that's part of the reason you loved him.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have to have a man who can stand up to me.
Exactly.
And and I need someone who's strong.
And then someone was going to challenge you.
That's right. I mean, I'm not.
So her and her husband, he was a challenge too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with Alzheimer, there is no cure.
Oh,
And
that's
they're
terrible.
not so
Well, stage
nice.
4 cancer
Yeah,
either. So.
Yeah.
But 20 months.
Yeah, but he basically turned everything over to me. I mean, he wanted me to be the person who talked to the doctor. I mean, he was there, but I'm
Right.
the one that I'm directing the whole thing.
Right.
And to be in charge of it just absolutely ate me alive. And that's when I discovered anticipatory grief, which I write about in my book.
Yeah.
And I didn't
My
know
life wasn't supposed to be this way.
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening to me. I am like hiding from him on the back porch so that he doesn't see me falling apart. Are you relating to this? Yeah.
No, I'd hate to tell you what I did on the back porch so he wouldn't see me.
Well, it's called survival. And
Yeah.
but it helped me so much when I finally got a therapist who put a name on it. I said, I don't know what's happening to me. And she said, you're going through anticipatory grief. You know he's going to die.
Right.
And you are already grieving
Well,
his
you're grieving already.
death.
What we've lost so far,
Yes,
what's not going to
yes.
happen.
And who will I be when he's gone?
Right. And
Yeah.
when I say to somebody in the support group, do you realize you're grieving? And they go,
You don't realize you're
and
grieving.
I go, you are.
Yeah,
Because you already lost maybe his mobility,
right.
or maybe his speech,
Yeah,
or maybe whatever it is. And they go, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
We need
Yeah.
to acknowledge that.
Well, I think you're also so focused on your person who's dying that you forget about focusing on yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're falling apart and beating yourself up because you need to be strong for him.
Yeah.
And then somebody puts a name on it and you realize, yeah, that's
Well,
what I'm going
that
through.
makes it more understandable.
Yeah,
That makes it more tolerable to a
Yeah.
point.
yeah,
Because I know I haven't lost my mind.
yeah.
Because you feel like you've lost your mind. And you are in grief, but you don't realize it's grief.
Right.
Because we always think of grief after someone passes.
Right. And I think strong people are particularly hard on themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They
'Cause I
don't-
could do it.
They don't just cave. They go,
Well, you know what?
I'm
I
gonna
figured
do it.
all this stuff out my whole life. I'm a strong woman.
yeah,
Oh my God, I had so many challenges in life and I
Yeah.
figured them all out. Now I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know about this one.
yeah. This is a new
I don't know.
challenge. Yeah.
I mean, my mom had cancer. She was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. But my mother also had dementia. I didn't even know she had dementia until after she was dead. Because she was goofy like me.
So you mean
Right.
you're going to hide it from us?
So when she said, yeah, I told my kids, if I ever get it, you're in big trouble. I know every trick in the book. But, or she wasn't even reading anymore, but she would just like hand me the menu and say, you're my assistant. And I didn't I thought she was being lazy.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Yeah, she wouldn't read maps.
She wouldn't do anything, and everything. Well, I realized it's because she couldn't,
Yeah.
but she just wanted to fake it as much as she could. And that's okay. And we could roll with it,
Yeah.
but when she tells me her purse is missing and I'm searching the apartment and I find it in the hamper.
Uh-huh. And then there are those who are so darn intelligent that they can figure out how to fool you.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And they fool the whole family.
But
Yeah.
usually only for a few days. Usually the one living with them.
Mhm.
You weren't living with her. You saw
Right.
her every day, but you
Yeah.
weren't living with her. And
Well, because you know what happens? Your kids call up, your sister calls up, whatever, and they talk to him on the phone and they go, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
cool. What
Right,
are you,
because they can
what are you talking about?
they
Yeah.
can cover it for a short period of
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
And if I'm the loved one and somebody calls me up, I'm like, yeah, I'm great. I'm not telling you I fell down the other day and my
Right.
leg is bruised
We
or
all
that
do that.
dad didn't poo in 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, so
Got it.
this is my suggestion, is that you come and visit unexpectedly, because if they know you're coming, we
they'll
could,
get the
like,
fridge filled.
yeah, put some food in the
Yeah.
refrigerator.
Yeah.
We'll have the cleaning girl come, you know, whatever. And they can fake it for a good maybe 24 hours, maybe even
Mhm.
48.
Mhm.
But you come unexpectedly and stay like a week before you make any judgments. And then if you're a long distance caregiver and you have other questions, just go talk to the neighbors
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to tell you everything.
Mm-hmm. More than you want to know.
Well, one of my caregivers, she said, okay, so I listened to you, Linda, and I came to visit my mom in Florida. And I went over to the neighbors, and the neighbors said, oh, we were so worried when the ambulance came and took her 2 weeks ago. Well, she never told them.
Mm-hmm.
Why would she?
No, it's none
You
of their
wasn't.
business. It's none of their business.
Mm-hmm.
No, my mother had a car accident and never said a word. Her superintendent told me. But I was telling her about one I had because I've never been shy, but I'm a lousy driver. But she was perfect. She never said a word.
Yeah.
She just smiled at me. Oh, poor you. You can't drive.
So let's talk a little bit more about writing the book. Did you feel like it was a healing process?
I did. After my husband died and after the funeral, I just went into myself. I went up to my home in North Carolina, closed myself in. I did not want to be with anybody, which I don't recommend that to everybody, but it's how I did it.
Right.
And so for about 2 months, that's what I did. And poetry was pouring out of every part of
Core
my
of your body.
I was writing poetry day and night. It just flowed. Now, I've always been a poet. I've always written poetry, but not to this extent. And I think that was my body healing.
Yeah.
And I had been writing on a daily basis, the journal, his journey through this.
Right.
So a friend of his called me and said, I understand that you won't leave your house. And I said, I just can't.
I'm
And
not
he
ready.
said, get out of the damn house. That's not what he wanted for you. Get out of the house. But he also said, I want to know who wrote the poem on the back of the prayer card at his funeral. I said, I did. He said, you're really good. He said, could you send more of your poetry to me? And I said, sure. So I did. And he said, Diane, I'm sending your writings to my editor in New York City. He had written 7 books, medical books. And I said, I don't think I'm in the same category because this
Of
editor
course.
wrote Jackie Onassis's autobiography.
Oh my goodness.
So I said, I don't think we're in the same category here. He said,
But I would like to be friends with him.
yeah. Well, it turns out he did read my notes and my journal, and he called me and he said, Diane, you had me on the second paragraph. He said, I'd like to work with
So
you.
you write beautiful.
My heart.
So we worked together for 8 months, and when it was all through, he said, you know what? I don't like poetry, and you talked me into putting your poetry in it. And he said, I'm glad you did. But he said, but I think you've got a good book. He said, I think you need an agent. And he said, I'm going to recommend someone to you. So he did. And that's been a year ago this month that it's all started.
Wow.
So, and now
Because
we've
people
got,
need to hear these stories.
yes,
People need to know that you can get through it.
Yes.
People need to know that you're vulnerable and I'm vulnerable.
Yes.
I think that's the hardest part. For people to be vulnerable is really hard.
It's especially hard for someone who has had hard knocks in life and
Who's a powerful woman.
always made it through. And all of a sudden you're at a point where you're thinking, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't even know who the hell I am
Right.
at this stage of my life.
Right.
But
look at you now.
Yeah. My children are laughing. My daughter this morning, she said, well, are you getting your hair done today or what? And I said, no. I said, I'm on my way down to a radio show. She said, Mom, I cannot believe you. 82 years old. You have a better
I can't
life
believe
than
you're
I do.
82. That's killed me all when you told me earlier. Lenny,
Yeah, but it's just a number.
It's just a number. And I'm still 16 in my heart. So
You know it.
that's that.
Well, see, my issue is that if I have to be careful one day, my daughter's going to be like, just get out of the chair, Mom. You're good. Come on.
Yeah.
Because she thinks I'm 35 now. I'm like, I'm 73 now. But.
Well, my son-in-law told me the other day, he says, Diane, I was looking at you in church the other day, and he said, you still have a good ass. And my daughter,
I love that.
My daughter said, John, she's your mother-in-law.
Well, I know a good thing when I see it.
wow. No one's ever told me that.
Well, you don't have one.
No, I know. I have my father's flat. I can exercise till the cows
You got
come
the
home.
abs. Certain stuff.
That's good.
You know,
That's good.
the abs
That's
are pretty
good.
damn good. I would take them any day.
One of the things that I wanted to mention and see if
Yeah.
you all experience this. I've always been an avid reader. I come from a family where we were big readers. And I typically would read 3 to 4 books a week.
That's what I do.
That's her. She still does.
During my husband's death, I would say 6 months before he finally died, I couldn't read because I couldn't concentrate. I would read the same paragraph 4 and 5 times. I finally stopped.
And for someone who loves to read, that's hard.
I know. I thought that is such a big part of my life, who I am. I'm a reader.
Yeah.
It came back, didn't it?
Yeah. But it was months after the funeral. It still was hard for me.
I used to take, when I go to the dentist, I always have a book. Well, I have a Nook now, but I always have a book in my hand. But during that time, I could just sit there.
Yeah.
Because nothing was going through my head anyway.
couldn't
So I
concentrate.
just sat, and I've never was able to do that. Watching TV, a commercial comes on, the book came out.
That's right.
But yeah, your brain just needs to
Calm down.
sit.
Right.
Yeah. Heal.
Yes.
Heal.
That was the first time in my life I've ever been like that.
Because we think of, we couldn't heal our loved ones, and we're thinking about all that healing, and then they pass away, but we don't realize that we need healing. That we need healing because we're strong, and we've done this before, and we can do this.
You can make it.
Yeah. But, even I was saying in my support group this morning, I miss my husband a lot. And recently, a real lot.
How many years has it been?
5.
5.
And I said to my daughter yesterday when she was cutting my hair, I miss Dad so much, like a real lot, like recently. And she said, I think you need to get over that, Mom.
Oh, I don't think you ever get over
No.
it.
And I was like, get over
Who
what?
wants to get over it?
Get over like 40 years of my life.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I said, you had a dad relationship. He was my husband.
Yeah. And there's a difference.
Yeah. You don't sleep with your dad.
No.
You don't do certain things.
And there is a relationship there that.
Because you choose each other. When you have
Right.
kids, you get what you get.
Yep. Absolutely.
That is true.
Someone asked me one day, because I have a bunch of grandchildren, and they said, do you have a favorite? Do you love one a little more than another? And I said, no.
Just different.
I said, you love them all, but you like some of them better than others.
That's true.
And if the grandchildren are listening to me, I love you all.
Every day.
And you
That's
bad
right.
ones, buck up.
So what's the last thing you want our listeners to hear from you today?
Well, go out and buy my book.
Yes, and then we're going to hold it up.
And know
I
that
can see here. Go ahead.
there was love poured into this book. And I wrote from the bottom of my heart, and I was very open and honest. Friends of mine said, Diane, I've known you a lifetime. I'm shocked that you were
said
so
that.
open. And I said, well, 80 years old, why not?
Exactly.
But
Isn't it fun getting older for
it's
that reason?
Wonderful.
You
And
say
you
what
know
you
what?
want.
I think I have a great group of friends, but not everybody has to like me, and I'm okay with that.
I never was before.
I know, but now, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, when you're a teenager, you want everybody to like you
Yes.
because you're great, and you want to be the very best mother. I mean, I can remember during my years of raising children, I wanted to be that perfect homemaker.
Of course.
I could care less now.
I know.
In fact, I mentioned to Bob, the man in my life, the other day, I said, I'm really over the cooking business. I said,
My oven has been broken for 2 months. I haven't missed it one day.
Yeah.
You know, I have a microwave, I have a toaster oven.
I just don't need to be able to cook anymore. I mean, I don't have to have the best recipes or anything.
No.
I'm quite happy having someone bring me something.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
where can our listeners find your book and find you?
It's on Amazon. And
And the name is?
A Widow's Fire
Bye.
by Diane Pike Heiler, Heiler. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook.
Okay, great.
And
I'll put all the information in the description of the
please,
show.
Yes.
So if you don't write this down right now, you can go to our show and check it out. Right now, it's time to hear from our wonderful partners because you know the deal. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Are you getting older, or are you taking care of somebody who is? You know, getting older creates new problems you probably never imagined. One of the big ones is, how do you pay for care? Care in your home, care in an assisted living facility, or care in a nursing home. Did you know that nursing home care in our community can cost up to $12,000 per month? For the last 33 years, our office has helped families access benefits, including Medicaid, VA, and PACE, to help pay for the cost of long-term care. Regardless of what your assets are or what your income is, you can qualify for these benefits. Proper planning and guidance are absolutely necessary to avoid being wiped out. Let us help. If you are in care or heading in that direction, we can help solve that problem. Take action now to obtain benefits to pay for the cost of care. Here are the 4 things that you need to do. 1, get a new power of attorney. Your old one probably isn't good enough. Get a healthcare surrogate and a living will. 3, get an estate plan that will not disqualify you from benefits. And 4, get a plan to qualify for Medicaid, PACE, or VA benefits to pay for the long-term care costs. Call us today for a free consultation, 727-539-0181, or go to flmedicaid.com and download our free book on Medicaid and planning for long-term care. I'm Sean Scott. I'm here to help.
Guaranteed to make you laugh through your tears, Linda Burhan's book, Good Night and God Bless, is filled with humor and heartfelt inspiration to aid anyone facing the challenge of caring for a loved one at the end of life. Her story offers hope for human strength and understanding of weaknesses during a difficult time. Life doesn't normally prepare us to become a loved one's caregiver. When it happens, it's usually sudden. A diagnosis of an illness, age-related frailty, dementia, and life suddenly is anything but normal. And because we don't even know what we don't know, where do we turn to for help or guidance? In Connecting Caregivers, Answers to the Questions You Didn't Know You Needed to Ask, Linda offers information, education, and inspiration from her own experience and from experts whose advice, practical tools, and personal stories will empower and guide you. Make sure to add these inspiring books to your collection today. Available on Amazon.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're back. So it was so fun chatting this morning. I really have been appreciating this. But now we have Melissa Renner.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fabulous. So we met a couple of months ago, and you have a company, Active for Life Fitness, and I think that is so important, Active for Life Fitness.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I went yesterday to my Curves, closed after 25 years. I actually cried.
Oh, no.
I actually cried.
There were a lot of Lindas crying.
Well, it's very funny.
Oh,
So you know Curves is the old ladies' gym, whatever. Well, when I first moved here, I was in a networking group, and the owner was there, and she had just opened up, but she was opening at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and the people in the group were going, you need to open earlier. Well, I'm not a morning person. So I used to open for her, and she paid me to exercise. I just moved here, so I got to meet all these people.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that was just for a short period of time, but I go religiously 3 days a week.
That's how you
So
and
it's
Josie
like,
look
that's
so
a
good.
big
And how many
change.
Lindas were in the group?
Oh my God.
That's where you were going.
So we all go around the same time. And so there was like 14 girls, and like 8 of us, our name was Linda.
It was a
So-
Linda convention.
Well, it's so easy. You don't have to remember everybody's name.
Linda Lane. I love it.
So, but yeah, because that's like a 50s name, and we're all around the same age. But anyway, so fitness is really important. So how did you get involved in this?
Yeah. So there's actually one thing I want to just correct. Can you hear me okay? Should I come
Yeah.
closer? So Active for Life Fitness is the website, because Active for Life wasn't taken, but Active for Life, it's a lot more than fitness actually, which I'll get into, because it takes, it's multimodal for brain and body. So one of the main emphasis is the cognitive aspect, because there's maybe 6, or depending on what we're doing in the program, 7 areas of the brain simultaneously engaged, in incorporating physical exercise, movement, connection. And so I'll go down that rabbit hole in a bit. But as far as founding Active for Life, there was actually a myriad of factors. And it was almost like those moments in our lives where we have all these different pieces of a puzzle. And it just seems like this divine moment where all of those, where all those pieces come together. So the main factors, I grew up my whole life from a very small child, where I was probably the height of this table, volunteering in memory care facilities.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And I've always been very, just had a place in my heart for that population. So grew up volunteering and was really close with my grandparents. I'm close with my parents. I was very close with my stepfather, and my grandmother had Alzheimer's. My stepfather had Alzheimer's. So I spent a lot of time in memory care with people I loved and cared about. So those were 2 factors. I also have a background in dance. So there was a period where I was teaching ballroom dancing and was asked by an independent living facility to come teach a class to the residents.
Oh, wow.
And only a few residents could participate because
they were sitting around too long.
So it was, individuals didn't have the strength or the stability to participate. And I was just so sad by that. My grandparents, they were, my grandfather was a World War II vet. They were married for over 60 years, and they met ballroom dancing at this place in Cleveland that everyone went to called the Aragon Ballroom. And ballroom dance was a huge part of their life. So I would grow up watching them dance. And I remember even in high school going to the VFW with my grandparents, and they had a ballroom night, and just watching in awe. And so I was so sad. So that the individuals I was there with that day weren't receiving the physical and the cognitive benefits of dance. Because it's one of the best things. Yeah. And the joy. So I went home and sat down, and I said, how do I get this across so individuals can have that cognitive and physical benefit and the joy and from a chair. And so it just evolved and really took off. And that's when Seated Rhythm started. And that was the first trademarked program. And then from that evolved Tap Time, which is the same methodology, because everything is in the programs are evidence informed and science based. And from there, I learned in memory care that when residents would start to get fatigued towards the end of the program, if I incorporated them generating sound, it would really perk them up, kind of give them a second wind to finish. Just if they were doing, part of the beat, just more of really more so engaging the auditory cortex. So that's when I thought,
like bringing it back to basic.
So then I thought of tap dancing, because I thought, okay, now we're really engaging the auditory cortex. So I went home and I took the same methodology for Seated Rhythm, but instead of ballroom and Latin dance being the dance interwoven, it was tap dancing. But I thought it's not viable to know shoe sizes and individuals that need a caregiver to put their shoes on, or maybe they're in a facility where in a community where they're just wearing socks.
Everybody wants to do that.
So I invented tap shoe covers, and I recently got the patent approved. So it's
how cool is that?
Yeah. So what it does is, so you don't need to know individual shoe sizes. There's no left or right, and each one stretches over a range of shoe sizes. So whether it's myself,
I'm gonna get these.
So whether it's, I'm just giving you a pair. Are you kidding me?
Oh, Josie will have a ball.
Oh, Josie is gonna be tapping her way through life. Oh my goodness. So so they stretch. Each one goes over maybe 5 or 6 sizes.
How long did it take you to do this? This is a big deal.
Well, as far as the patent being approved, that was approved earlier maybe it was last November, but I filed the patent in 2021, maybe.
It takes a long time.
Well, then you have to find a manufacturer, and
so working on that right now.
You had to create something.
I've been doing this by hand. So right now I'm actually talking with manufacturers. So
you did them by hand? Oh my. You're very talented.
Oh, thank you. But so what's amazing is,
all right, so tell us how the tap affected them.
So it's similar to Seated Rhythm. The residents and participants are engaged immediately. So you see success from the first class. And it's the same with tap.
But they don't need a partner.
You don't need a partner.
Right.
No.
And you can do it from your seat.
You can do it from your chair. Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. I have to hold back tears a lot. It's very common our first time in a community administering the program to have directors and staff running in because so-and-so who's lived there for 7 years that won't participate just moved and grooved with a smile on their face with us for 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's
so
huge.
Sometimes family gets emotional, but I'm like, hold back the tears, because we just have a lot of really beautiful moments.
It is, because we need to engage with these people. I have some friends years ago, and they used to come into communities, and they would do some, the parachute, the toss in the balloon and everything. And there was one woman that every time they would bring her in, she didn't talk at all. She just sat in her chair with her head down. And we found out that she liked horses. So every time we would come, we would bring her a stuffed animal horse or a statue of a horse or whatever. And she just still sat in that chair. Yeah. And one day, somebody had a conversation about horses, and she raised her horse.
Oh.
So she was in the conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing, too. You're bringing people into the conversation.
I love that analogy.
You're bringing people into joy.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, who doesn't want to have fun? When you think of especially tap dancing, you always think of those great movies with those great tap dancers, like Gene Kelly or whatever.
Oh, yes.
And and it's always fun, and it's something that people can relate to.
Yes. I always say we're channeling our inner Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. We have a blast. Yeah. And it's so good. It's so.
So you go into communities to do this. Well, what if I want to do this at home with my loved one?
So anyone can do it. So as far as our programs in the Tampa Bay area, because we recently launched in Florida, was founded in Ohio. So we're in over 100 communities in Ohio. but as far as Tampa Bay, if there is not a program in your area, there's streaming option, DVD option, where someone could get their own pair of tap shoes.
Right,
We even have a little tap board. So if you have if you're in a home with carpet,
right,
we bring the dance floor to you. So there's little boards. You can generate the fun tap sound with seated rhythm. Since it's ballroom and Latin inspired, you don't need any special shoes. So yeah, and then you can just.
Don't you love it? I just love it. I just love it. And so are you doing well in Florida here now?
Yes.
Is it starting to move around?
Absolutely.
People are starting to get it?
Absolutely. It's been really wonderful. And the one thing I love about this area, there are so many fantastic groups and networking
People
events.
that care.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible.
I feel so blessed to be in this Tampa Bay area. Because
Likewise.
I'm telling you, I go speak in other states and they're like, don't talk to her.
Yeah.
She's so nice. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, it hasn't even been that long, and I've connected with so many amazing.
And they're open, right?
Individuals, yes. I know you mentioned Arden Courts. Oh my gosh, we're running the program at their Seminole location, and it's just I've already met you. I mean, I've met so many. Met you. I met you. I've met so many amazing.
Did you just move here?
Moved here a year ago. However, didn't officially launch Active for Life here until January, just because I have an entire team in Ohio. We're operating within 7 counties. So I really needed to make sure everything was running.
Yeah, ready to go.
As I run a tight ship.
Do you like it here?
I love it. I
Well, me
absolutely
too.
love it.
Well, it's funny. She and I met at an Arden Courts networking breakfast, and I came there as Josie. So for the people who don't know Josie that are listening, I did a survey of like 3,000 caregivers about 10 months ago, and I said, what do you want from me? Because I've been doing this for 18 years. And you want more support groups, live, virtual, whatever. And they came back. They said certain things, but they said, we're tired of caregiver burnout. We're tired of caregiver guilt and Alzheimer's and dementia, Linda. We just want to laugh. So that's when Jokester Josie Jones came about. So I do a joke. Josie does a joke every day on TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever they'll let her go. So I went to this breakfast that morning as Josie.
That's right. I met
know
Josie first. I didn't even know Linda. I didn't meet Linda until later.
We're like sitting at the table, and you said at the end of the breakfast, I knew I sat at the fun table.
I did. I was so happy.
Because it's just making the connections and being open to whatever we have, and then we met and we learned a whole bunch of stuff about it. So tell us a little bit about your dancing and the salsa stuff. I just think it's so interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a competitive salsa dancer, and that was also a factor for relocating. One of the best salsa studios in the country, probably one of the top 5 in the world, is in Tampa. So
wow.
Yes, I was actually at rehearsal last night till 1:30 in the morning.
You're so lucky. I have no musicality. Sing, dance, can't hold a tune.
I've had a lot of people say that to me.
I bet you could tap.
I went to tap class and quit after 2 weeks.
I guarantee you that you do. Start in the chair.
Do I ever dance? After the tap school, they made me feel so bad.
Be open to try it. If I have the shoes, I'll give you the shoes. We'll have a glass of wine. You'll tap.
Yes. Yep. I would agree.
We just want to
We
have
need
fun.
the extra large shoes.
They're stretchy. Look at them.
I know, but look at this foot.
Look at this foot.
Stop. But really, if we can incorporate this with our loved one to be helping their cognitive functions and their physical functions and to have fun at the same time.
It's huge.
And to have some fun at the same time.
There's actually quite a few caregivers that I've had the pleasure to get to know who, if they have a loved one that's in a memory care community and progressing, whether it's dementia or Alzheimer's. And I remember this was one of the most challenging things when my loved ones were progressing, is when it had reached a point where when I would visit, there wasn't a lot of conversation able to be had, but you still want to be with them. And, so I have a lot of caregivers they love our program so much, they will plan their visits around when it is the program's going on at the community. Yeah, because it gives them something to do with their loved one when words aren't as plentiful as they were.
I'm just thinking about this, and I was talking about this morning. So I know this young man that takes care of his aunt, and she has a real issue with sundowners. She also had an issue with eating.
Mm-hmm.
So every day at 3 o'clock, 3:30, whatever the sundowners time is, he makes her little sandwiches, little fancy sandwiches, and he gives her like a
party
little,
sandwiches.
Yeah, a little
yes.
sparkling wine or whatever. Water, not wine.
Yeah.
And he plays big band music. And they dance for an hour every day.
Everyone should do that.
So she has no more sundowning issues. And the neighbors say, we watch them through the window. And what joy we get from that. So think, maybe you could do a little tap dancing every day at sundowners time. Maybe you could find a new routine.
It's definitely
because I'm thinking if anybody can do it, like so maybe you can't do ballroom dancing like he can, but if you can sit in your chair and you could have those tap shoes on and we get the right music.
It's incredible.
And then you don't think about that other stuff that's bothering you.
Do you dance professionally?
Mm-hmm.
How nice.
Yeah. But that was really a reason for our growth, was the catalyst for the expansion that we had so quickly was because the response was so strong. And it's also so inclusive, because I think about skilled nursing, where you could have a room and you have individuals in the program where one has a visual impairment, one has a hearing impairment, one has maybe they're paraplegic. Right. We actually have a hand tap cover for individuals that if they
tap with their hand.
We also have the patent approved on that. So there was one woman in the skilled nursing, and she was in her early 80s, and she was so vibrant, but she did not was not able to use her legs for the program. So she was I remember it was when I first created this hand tap, and she was rocking it. And so afterwards I went up to her and I go, "Oh my, you're amazing." And so I asked her, how'd you like it? I just wanted to see. And she's told me a story how when she was younger, when she was a child, she wanted to be a drummer. And she asked her parents for a drum set.
And they said no.
And I mean, female drummers aren't that common now. So I think even then, it was even less common. And they said, no, you're never going to use it. So she went out and she sold newspapers. She collected bottles, sold those, and she saved up for a drum set. And then she ended up becoming a drummer and a music teacher. And that was what she did. And she was telling me how much joy she had, because even though she wasn't drumming, to use her hand in a rhythmic way with music,
make a sound.
How cool.
Yeah. And we have individuals in memory care where memories come back.
An adult daycare.
Yes.
Adult daycare, this could be tap time.
Yes.
You take an hour of tap time or a half hour.
Yes.
Oh my God. It's all right. So where can our listeners find you?
Yes. So if they go to Active for Life Fitness, Active for Life was taken, activeforlifefitness.com. And there's they can find everything they need there. Right. So,
and I'll put all the information in the show. And so Melissa also has a friend, Janet, who's friends with Josie. So for our followers on Jokes to Josie Jones, tune in the next week or so, and you'll see two friends hanging out together.
Oh, yeah.
But right now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
When someone you love needs a little extra help at home, comfort and trust matter more than anything. At Southern Comfort Home Care, we believe care should feel like family. Proudly serving Pinellas Park and surrounding communities, our compassionate caregivers provide personalized in-home support so your loved ones can remain safe, independent, and comfortable in the place they know best, home. From companionship and meal preparation to personal care and daily assistance, Southern Comfort Home Care is here to ease the stress for families and bring peace of mind when it matters most. Our caregivers are carefully selected, professionally trained, and dedicated to treating every client with dignity, respect, and kindness. because that's how families should be cared for. If you're looking for dependable, heartfelt home care you can trust, choose Southern Comfort Home Care. Call us today for your free assessment at 727-977-2273 or visit our website at www.southerncomforthc.com. Southern Comfort Home Care, where compassionate care feels like home.
Choosing the right chiropractor is an important choice to make. Located in Seminole, the Alexander Spine Center team is trained on the latest chiropractic treatments and technologies. At Alexander Spine Center, you'll find chiropractic and physical therapy care that is safe, effective, and a natural approach to pain and other health-related issues. Chiropractic unlocks your body's potential and natural healing process to ensure your life is a healthy life. We treat clients from the womb to the tomb. Call 727-397-3000 for a free consultation today, or visit our website at www.alexanderspinecenter.com.
They take good care of me twice a week, so check them out.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Caregiving is an act of love, but it can be exhausting. Long days, sleepless nights, constant worry about the one you care for and about yourself. That's where Super Patch can help. Super Patch is a simple, drug-free wearable designed to support the body naturally. Caregivers are using it to feel more balanced, more energized, and more focused so they can show up fully for the people that need them most. And for loved ones, well, many report better stability, calmer days, improved sleep, and greater sense of independence. No drugs, no side effects, just a patch working with the body. Because when caregivers feel stronger and supported, everyone benefits. Super Patch, helping caregivers care better and helping loved ones live better. To learn more, go to www.sticktoit.info. That's www.sticktoit.info.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're back. So we had such fabulous guests today. I'm so glad that they were here.
Yes.
But we have some events coming up I want to let you know about. We have the Veteran Resources Expo and Family Day on Saturday, April 11th, tomorrow from 11 to 3 p.m. in downtown Clearwater. So there will be veteran activities, fun, music, food, and a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're interested, you can call or text 727-244-5114. Also, there will be a paper shredding event at HKH Elder Law on April 24th from 11:30 to 2:30 in St. Pete. So if you're interested, you can just go by HKH Elder Law. It says up to 2 kitchen garbage bags of dry paper for shredding. So any documents, especially if you just finish your taxes, you probably want to get rid of some of that stuff you don't need anymore.
You don't need 15 years?
What?
You don't need 15 years worth of taxes?
No, you don't anymore, thank God.
No.
Thank goodness. And then we have Sages Theater, Saturday, April 18th at the Murray Theater in Clearwater, and Sunday, April 26th at the St. Pete City Theater. So if you're interested in that, you can go to sagestheater.org. That's SAGESTHEATER.org. Last but not least, get yourself in a support group. If it's not mine, someone else's, contact me. I'll find the information for you. What else? There was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember what it is. But what? Nah. So tune in next week for another fabulous show. If there's any people that you think might be a good guest on the show, or someone that you think yourself might be a good guest on the show, email me at lindaburhans.com, because every day we meet new people like we did today with fabulous things that we didn't know about. So tune in next week for another fabulous show. Remember, God loves you all the time, and have a delicious day.